Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you need to develop into a better leader, this podcast is for you. If you want to achieve a greater level of success, this podcast is for you. His mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, said it best: everything rises and falls on leadership. We hope to inspire you today and provide you with an insight that has the potential to positively impact the trajectory of your life. Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston with Empowerment Strategies and Solutions. We speak, we coach, and we train. Today, I just got a really quick lesson I want to share with you. If you're an aspiring leader, an emerging leader, new leader, or a leader that's just committed to growth, today I want to encourage you to act like the leader. Act like a leader. And the A is for acquiring knowledge. You know, John Wooden used to say that it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. So if you want to be a leader that's continually growing, maturing, and maximizing your team's potential, then act like a leader. And that starts by a continual journey to acquire different, new, more knowledge and information that helps you be better at what you do. And of course, when it comes to leadership, it's nothing more than influence. So as you acquire more knowledge, the next step is commit to utilize that knowledge. It's great to acquire that knowledge, but you need to commit to applying that knowledge in your leadership journey. And as you do that, as you apply that knowledge, it's going to help you become more effective in your job, which increases your influence, which is part of your goal as a leader. But the last letter is T, and that is to teach that to others. So not only do you improve and increase your influence, you multiply it when you teach it to others, and you also increase their knowledge. So if you want to be a leader that's making a difference, that's impacting your organization, whether you're brand new, whether you're emerging, been there, trying to get your feet on solid ground, solid foundation, or you're an established leader that just wants to take your game to the next level, then acting like a leader will make all the difference in the world. And once again, that is acquiring knowledge, continual, stay hungry, always be seeking to grow and gain more knowledge. 2 is that you take and commit that knowledge to application, not just here, but in your hands, feet, eyes, ears, and what you do each and every day. And then lastly, the T is for teaching that to others. Don't hoard that information. Don't hoard that and keep it to yourself, but take time to teach that to those you lead. And watch what happens to your team. You're going to see yourself and your team. I believe Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And I knew my purpose wasn't just to play football. It was my platform.
Wow.
My purpose. And so when that moved, I just said, God, what's next? How do you want to use the experience of playing for Alabama and the Steelers to be able to move forward? And I tell you a quick side note, because of that mindset, Coach BZ, I was the first player that didn't make the team. I got injured and everything, and was came back to Tuscaloosa, but they gave me a helmet. And the lady wrote a note, said, "Thank you so much for your impact and your influence. You're the first player that I know of that did not make the final roster because of injury or whatever that we gave a helmet to, but we felt your impact. So,
Wow.
so
That's
I tell people I still have a Pittsburgh Steelers helmet to
yes.
prove that I was there.
Wow, that is really powerful. Now, another thing that you say is no, leadership is a full contact sport. What do
Yes.
you mean and how do you coach your people with that mindset?
Yeah, leadership is a full contact sport. In football, you can stand on the sideline. I tell people, fans have it easy. They
Mm,
always say they don't do this, they don't do that. That they're up in the stands, and what you see from the stands is not always a true reality of what's happening on the field.
yes.
Uh, Actually, when you watch football, television has ruined how we watch football. You actually should watch football from the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you watch it from the sideline like we do television, everybody wants the 50-yard line. Well, you can see it going back and forth, but you can't really see what's happening. The
Yes.
end zone is actually the best seat because you see from behind the line of scrimmage and what's
Mm-hmm.
happening. And what I mean by that being full contact is you have to get out there in the trenches. So as leaders, if you are going to be a leader, first of all, you have to have the right angle in the right perspective. In other
Yeah.
words, you can't sit in the stands at the 50-yard line and just bark out orders and commands. You actually have to get, first of all, behind the line of scrimmage, and then you get in the trenches with your team.
All right, that was a highlight of the leadership conversation I had with Coach Houston. So I would like for you guys to please go and watch a full episode, season 4, episode 79. I'm gonna play a couple more trips and uh, a couple more highlights from the full conversation today, and I'm gonna be giving you a 10-minute AI recap of the hour-long conversation we had with Coach Houston. Actually, it was about an hour and a half, and Coach Houston was so gracious with his time, but he really taught us a lot. So again, I encourage all of you to please watch the full episode. Okay, as we do as is our custom, let's do our moment of gratitude. This is where we just take a moment, it's less than a minute, and we kind of think about one thing that we are grateful for today. What are you grateful for? So go ahead and close your eyes if you are able. Take a deep breath. Put yourself in your happy place and think about one thing that you are grateful for. I think today I am grateful for my family, my wife, and my 2 children. Life just wouldn't be the same without them. So let us know what you are grateful for. Type it in the comment, and also let us know where you are joining us from, what city, state, and if outside of the US, what country. And if you have a leadership question for me, please type it in the comment, and I will be back in about 10 minutes or so. And also, please like the post and repost it in your feed and tag someone in your sphere of influence who might benefit from this podcast today. Thank you so much for your contributions. All right, so let's go with the 10-minute recap by my AI agent. So I see you guys in about 10 minutes.
Welcome to the podcast, where we dive into the power of pushing beyond limits. Today, we're exploring the inspiring journey and philosophy of Coach Houston, that one more inch mindset that transforms leadership.
I'm really excited about this. So, this coach, his whole message is about encouraging extra effort, right?
Exactly. It's like this idea that the difference between average and extraordinary leadership is literally just one more inch, pushing past the easy limit.
And I think his background really amplifies that concept. Growing up in Center, Alabama, learning from his mom's relentless work ethic, that's an incredible foundation.
Absolutely. His early life in Center, Alabama, where his mom showed him what true perseverance looks like, shapes his whole leadership approach. It wasn't just about physical wins. It was also about building character, resilience, and a championship mindset.
Yep. And then he goes on to have an amazing athletic journey, doesn't he? A 2-time SEC champion, a national champion. And even when a knee injury forced him to change directions, he turned that setback into an opportunity.
Right. You see that pivot as a clear display of resilience, It's like, um, you know, a setback is an opportunity for a comeback. That mental switch, when you call an audible if your play isn't working, is it's like a blueprint for leadership in the face of
Exactly.
adversity.
That brings us to his famous saying, leadership is a full contact sport. It's such a vivid metaphor.
Yes, that phrase really hits home. Think about it. Fans can sit on the sidelines, but true leaders, they get in the trenches with their teams. They, they have to be present right where the action
Exactly.
is. It's not just about shouting instructions, it's about physically and mentally engaging with your team.
And that lesson applies across the board, right? Whether you're on the football field, in the military, or managing tech teams, you have to be a part of the action, building trust and connection.
Yes, and speaking of connection, Coach Houston emphasizes the encouragement factor. His book, The Encouragement Factor, Give Me One More Inch, is all about that. It's not just praise after the fact. It's about inspiring people to keep going even when things are tough. It's about unlocking latent
Yeah,
potential.
I really like that idea of giving just one more inch. It almost makes it seem like leadership is a gentle nudge rather than a big, overwhelming push.
Uh-huh. Picture this. He's got you raise your hand as high as you can, and then, tells you to stretch one more inch. It's like encouraging you to go, hey, you haven't reached your limits yet. That extra little bit can be a game changer.
True, but let me ask, doesn't that kind of simplify deep seated challenges into just a little extra effort? What about those times when the obstacles seem insurmountable?
That's a fair point. Now, I don't think Coach Houston is saying that an extra inch will magically resolve every
Yeah, true.
problem. Rather, it's about the mindset of resilience, understanding that failure isn't final and that continuing to push, even incrementally, builds a culture of endurance and trust.
Right, because he also talks about other universal leadership lessons like keep blocking, embracing the hard, often neglected tasks that pave the way for eventual success.
Exactly. In his philosophy, those unglamorous tasks are essential. How many times have we all thought, I hate doing this boring work, only to realize later it was the foundation for something great?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like paying dues for excellence.
And then there's the other nugget of wisdom, don't waste a failure. That's such a powerful reminder.
Right, it's a mindset that reinterprets setbacks. Instead of being defeated by failure, you learn, build on it, and get back up, over and over. That's real resilience.
Indeed. I'm also intrigued by how his leadership journey wasn't confined only to the sports world. He made a huge impact as the Chief Growth Officer at Alabama One Credit Union, turning things around from losses to record profits.
Yeah, that part of his story is truly inspiring. Growing from 11 to 27 branches and turning $1 million loss into 6 million plus annual profits. That kind of transformation shows that his principles aren't just theoretical, they work in real organizational challenges.
Definitely. And what's interesting is that his leadership model centers on a threefold chord: buy in, trust, and connection. It really highlights that leadership is as much about the people as it is about the numbers.
Exactly. You know, it's all interconnected. Whether you're in a boardroom or on the battlefield, leadership is about being present and building those unbreakable bonds. It's like, leaders build cultures that transcend individual performance. They create championship cultures.
Yes, indeed. And he ties it all to deep, almost spiritual groundings too, quoting biblical verses like 1 Peter and Ecclesiastes, which adds a layer of integrity and timeless wisdom to his message.
Right? The inclusion of scripture, like the idea from Proverbs about repeatedly getting up or serve beyond yourself, gives his message a moral weight. It's saying, hey, lead with heart, faith, and responsibility.
Exactly. So, if we break it down, his leadership advice really hinges on a few things. Be in the trenches, encourage your team consistently, even just one more inch, and then embrace the tough tasks that come with growth.
Yep, and it all ties back to his own journey, from Center, Alabama, to a national champion and then a transformative leader in business. His experiences, both triumphs and setbacks, serve as a living, breathing example of resilience and servant leadership.
Mm-hmm, that's really compelling. I wonder though, could his approach be seen as a bit too simplistic for the complexities of modern corporate problems? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
That's a good question. I'd say the idea of the one more inch isn't meant to solve every complex problem by itself.
Right.
Instead, it's a mindset shift, a tool to get past the immediate hurdle. It's like a motivational trigger that, when combined with strategic actions, can lead to significant breakthroughs.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. It's not the whole blueprint, but a vibrant principle that underlies so many aspects of his teachings: resilience, trust building, and the relentless pursuit of growth.
Exactly. And that focus on consistent, incremental progress resonates across different fields. For military leaders, it means being right there with your troops, leading by example. For tech leaders, it's about fostering a culture where even small innovations are celebrated and built upon.
Yes, indeed. And it's such a timely reminder in our fast paced world. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come from that extra, seemingly insignificant effort.
Absolutely, it's like taking one more inch can be the catalyst that turns potential into reality. And the message really hits home when he describes that exercise, raising your hand, stretching just a little bit extra. It's such a simple physical reminder that mirrors our mental
Mm-hmm,
challenges.
exactly. So, in thinking about our own leadership journeys, where do you think that extra inch really makes the difference?
For me, it's about leaning in during the tough moments, making the extra call, putting in that additional effort when failure is looming. It's these incremental actions that signal to your team that you're fully committed, and that commitment is infectious.
Right on. And by extension, it challenges us to reframe our failures and setbacks as foundations for future success. That's such a powerful shift.
Exactly. Whether it's in a military or tech battalion, or even in a family or community setting, the leadership principles Coach Houston lays out, trust, connection, resilience, truly are universal.
Absolutely. I think the takeaway here is clear: never settle, always strive for that one more inch, and lead from within, not from the sidelines.
Yes, that's the essence. And remember, each extra inch isn't just a personal win, it multiplies into a culture of excellence, trust, and growth. Whether you're managing billions or a small team, your presence in the trenches matters.
Yep, definitely. Thanks for breaking this down. It's a compelling blend of real life achievement, practical wisdom, and, a dash of spiritual grounding. I'm inspired to give more of that inch in my own day to day.
Yeah, same here. So, let's all take a moment to reflect on where we can push ourselves further, whether that's professional or personal. After all, sometimes breakthrough is just one extra inch away.
Exactly. And to our listeners, consider this your call to action. Encourage, be resilient, and step forward into the trenches next time you face a challenge.
Right. Let's commit to leading with that same spirit Coach Houston embodies, deep into the trenches, building trust and connection, 1 inch at a time.
Absolutely. Thanks for such an engaging conversation. It's been a real masterclass in translating life lessons from sports, business, and faith into actionable leadership principles.
My pleasure, truly. And as we wrap up, remember, push for that one more inch today, inspire your team to do the same, and let every step forward be a testament
Yep,
to your
that's it.
resilience.
Until next time, keep pushing, keep leading, and never stop striving for excellence.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay resilient and keep going that extra inch every day.
Amazing. Okay, we are running out of time, but I could talk to you for hours and hours. But let me ask you this: when you wake up in the morning, what is one problem you would like to solve?
Wow, I think it's the divisioning of our country.
Yes.
I do a sports talk show every morning,
Mhm.
and this is what I say. It's a sports talk show, but I say the following: remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's
Yes.
rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, and so that's kind of my mission statement. And so I hate how divided we are, and most of that division is lack of knowledge, lack of information, lack of interaction. not really differences.
Yes.
It's perceived differences, perceived things versus reality. So I figure out how to make people
Mm-hmm.
have conversations.
Yes.
If I could remove something from the world, is prejudice, and not prejudice in terms of race only, uh, but in the root of that word is prejudging.
Mm.
In other
Yes.
words, how often? Let me give you. Can I give a quick example?
Please.
In the working at Alabama One at the credit union, you would see people come in, and then you would get their account number, and you would look at their account number and go, "Wow," because they came in and they looked just like the
Mm-hmm.
average Joe that's working at the local retail store.
Yeah.
Nothing flashy. They got their car barely pulled up to the thing, and then you'd
Mm.
open up their account and they'd have $1.5 million in their account.
Yes.
Multi-millionaire, right?
Mm-hmm.
But look like the everyday person. Then
Yes.
you see someone come in dressed
Yeah.
to the nine and looking the part, and then you open up their account and they're overdrawn, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I wonder how much of life do we miss because we prejudge people based on their outside package, and
Mm.
we don't. So that's why I say take some time to love someone, serve
Yes.
someone, notice someone. And if you do those things, then you get the opportunity to get all of the life lessons. I tell people all the time, some of the greatest things you'll learn.
The 24th anniversary. I remember 9/11 was a pretty tragic day. People from my generation, we will always remember that. But the day after, I didn't see. That's when I saw so much unity, people coming together, helping their neighbors, and no, that's part of the reason why I joined the Navy. Actually, I tried to join them. They wouldn't allow me because I wasn't a U.S. citizen yet, so I had to wait. But that feeling, what I saw, definitely had a huge impact on me. So I know what America can be. We are not there anymore, but yeah, you are right. That's something we definitely need to make better. Okay, so what is if you had one and only one day to live, what would you have like your final contribution to be?
I would say that my final contribution would be a legacy that lives on long after I'm done. In
Mm,
other words, um, that my life mattered beyond my years.
mm,
I would like to think that starting with my family, my church family, my extended family, my community family, uh, that I have influenced them in such a way that somewhere down the road, 10, 15 years after I'm gone, that what I lived for, stood for, and believed is still having impact. So, and to me, that's what it's about. I look at the life of Jesus
mhm.
uh, and how it's still impacting. Am I saying that I need to have that type of impact? No, but this is what I tell my church and I tell people. I may not have the gift or the a platform to change the entire world, but I can change my world,
Mm.
impact my world, and whatever size my world is.
Thank you for listening to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our channels and come back for more wisdom nuggets on how you may develop into a better leader and achieve greater levels of success. Leadership is the most critical skill. The world will always need leaders to lead others, deploy the next disruptive technology, or execute a business strategy. You may as well decide on counting yourself among the 21st century leaders. See you right here next time on the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.